is Mitch Rothbart coming to you again with the latest episode in the How to Become a Personal Trainer video series. The video series is going to teach you how to become a good personal trainer to busy, real people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way up. We are outside today. It's a little cool morning. Decided to do this one outside. And today we're going to talk about something that's pretty complicated, pretty complex, although it may seem a little simple on the surface. So one of the hardest things a good personal trainer ever has to do is progress their clients by deciding how much load their client is going to use on an exercise. And that can take many forms. It can be the amount of weight that they're going to lift. It may be changing a position to make it a little harder. For example, sometimes when a client comes to us, we have them start doing push-ups on a bar and a rack. So it's, their hand position's higher up. And as they get stronger, we kind of lower the bar so they're supporting more of their body weight when they're doing those push-ups. So when do we move the bar, for example? There are a lot of forms that this can take, but just think about it as progressively making the exercise itself more challenging. And that's what we're going to be talking about. When do we do that? On a technical level, this should always be determined by the client's form and speed. Simply put, if their form is good and the speed of their reps stays about the same all the way through the set, then it's usually okay to increase the load. But, of course, because we are dealing with people, it's not always quite that simple. Everyone's different. We know that, and don't ever forget it even for a second. So in a previous video, I mentioned reading about change psychology and how important that is, particularly motivational interviewing. And one of the most important aspects of motivational interviewing is that the client themselves decide what they're going to do. And there's been a ton of research done on this, and what all the research has shown is that people are much more likely to move forward with something and get results from it if they feel a sense of mastery and autonomy. In other words, if they feel like they can do something well to a certain extent, and if the decision about whether to do it or not is up to them. So remember our number one rule. The most important thing a client can get from a workout is the desire for another one. Some people are more than willing to go all out in the gym to the point where you may actually have to hold them back a little bit. Some people come to the gym and shut their minds off and just do what you tell them to do. They think and make decisions all day long at work and at home, whatever. They don't come to the gym for that. They come to the gym to kind of shut it off. And some people just frankly aren't willing to push themselves very hard for any number of a million reasons. That's fine. Your job is to figure out which category each client falls into. And no matter which one it is, let them be who they are. It's very important. This can be hard sometimes. Again, I've mentioned this before, but it bears repeating. If you are training real people, busy people, people that have jobs, people that have their families in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, most of these people are there because they feel they have to be at the gym. They have to exercise for one reason or another, for health or whatever, and that's okay. That does not mean that they're not good people to deal with, not at all. They very well may be. You just have to balance that with what's going on in your own head, your ego. You're bumping around on social media and see another trainer's feed and their clients are hitting squat PRs, doing crazy things. You see another video and people are sweating like crazy and running around, and then you see your client in front of you and you can't get them to move up even 1 pound on their deadlift, even though they can do 35 reps at the weight they're using. Forget it. It's not about you. It's really important. It's about them. It's about keeping them coming back so that they can get whatever results they can get. That's how they get better, the consistency. Could they get better faster if they work harder? Maybe. Who cares? Progress. Any kind of progress is progress. So ask your client questions so you can determine what they are willing to do. And by the way, at the risk of overkill on this, what they are willing to do is usually, almost always going to determine what they actually should be doing. Because this is not only a physical thing we're working on here, this is a mental thing. The exception, of course, here would be a client who is willing to go way too heavy and their form suffers as a result. We don't want that. We do want to pull them back a little bit. So ask your client questions, okay? Ask them. Say, that looks good. You want to go up a little bit? Listen and watch their reaction. They may ask you if you think it's a good idea. They may get visibly nervous. I've had that happen. Oh, they're doing a weight, and you say, hey, you want to go up a little bit? And they start to shake a little bit. They may just say no. Listen to their reaction, watch their reaction. Again, take yourself out of it and proceed accordingly. If they say no, that doesn't mean you're a bad trainer. Listening to your clients and realizing that your ego shouldn't have a say in any of this, that's what makes you a good trainer. Ask them how the weight feels. Does it feel heavy, light, somewhere in between? I like to ask them that question all the time, and then see what they say, see what their reaction is to that. Something to understand is that someone who doesn't have much experience with exercise can get very nice results without all that much effort. Never forget that. That's really important. And also, if someone doesn't have much experience with exercise, a low effort can still feel pretty intense. So, to recap, 1, for the most part, let the client determine how fast they are going to progress. Number 2, ask questions, and they're going to let you know what they're willing to do if you listen to them. They may not come right out and say it, but it's going to be in their reaction, their physical reaction, how they look, the words they use, and more importantly, how they say what they say. And as always, realize that it's not about you. It's about them. Take your ego out of it. Read about motivational interviewing, very important, and always remember that the most important thing they can get from a workout is a desire for another one. And if you push them too hard and they're not willing to go that hard, you run the risk of them losing that desire. It's a simple concept, but it's pretty complex. So, and it's one of those things that if you work with a lot of clients over a period of time, you're going to run into all sorts of issues and all sorts of different people that have different attitudes about exercise, about how hard they're willing to push themselves and how they express these things to you. So be open to it all, and just remember, you are there for them, okay? It seems simple, but it's really hard sometimes to take your ego out of things. If they don't want to move up in an exercise, it has nothing to do with you, okay? Always look for their form, make sure they don't hurt themselves, move on from there, okay? Leave questions and comments in the comments below. Again, this is a pretty difficult thing to kind of master, but the more you are open to things, the more you'll be able to do that. Let's keep going with this. This is the exact kind of thing that is going to really make a real impact on your clients if you do it right. Okay, so we'll see you with our next episode coming soon. Please subscribe so you don't miss anything that we're going to talk about here. And